Hello everybody, and welcome back. It is I, your favorite farm animal, Super Sheepin. With May the 4th happening earlier on this month, and Kenobi dropping later on this month, I figured it'd probably be a good time to talk about some Star Wars. Now, I love Star Wars. It is my absolute favorite franchise in existence. I love the games, I love the movies, I love pretty much... Okay, you know what? No. I love old Star Wars. The Star Wars that existed before the dark times, before the Disney Empire. What is known now today as Star Wars Legends, or as I remember it, the Expanded Universe, or EU for short. Now, just because Star Wars was better back in the day, absolutely does not mean it was perfect. Especially in the terms of video games, they were always kind of a mixed bag. You had the super high highs of something like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, or the Dark Forces series, which then became Jedi Knight series. And then, of course, how could anyone forget about the Battlefront series? But with those highs, you also had some really low lows, like Star Wars Masters of Terrascasi? Oh no. Or Super Bad Racing? Oh god.
That's it, I'm turning back.
But don't worry. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the good ones. Let's talk Star Wars Republic Commando. So a few things I wanted to address before I start talking about the game. I will not be using much music from the actual game because it's all licensed John Williams music, and I can't. So I will be using music mostly from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic in the background. And lastly, if you like what I do, you like my videos, you want to support me, please hit that like and subscribe button. Really does help me out. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Star Wars Republic Commando takes place during the Clone Wars, in between episodes 2 and 3. The player takes control of a squad known as Delta Squad, consisting of specifically bred elite clone troopers known as Commandos. The main protagonist and the character that the players control is known as Delta 38 or Boss. He is actually voiced by Temuera Morrison. Then you have Delta 40, or Fixer, who is not voiced by Temuera Morrison, actually voiced by Andrew Chaikin. He is a little bit stoic, and he is the slicing specialist in your squad. He also has green on his armor to make him distinct from the other members in your squad or any other clone trooper. Then you have Delta 62, otherwise known as Scorch, who is my personal favorite. He is the explosives expert. He is also really snarky and has probably the funniest lines in the game. He has yellow patterns all over his armor, and he is actually voiced by Raphael Sbarge. If you don't know that name, you probably should. He's the guy who voices Carth Onasi in KOTOR, or Caden Alenko in Mass Effect.
Almost. Keep your space pants on. Door slice, sir. Waiting on your word.
You've made it just in time. There's only one active escape pod left. Come on, we can hide out on the planet below.
He's awesome. I love that he's in this game. He brings so much personality to the role. And lastly, you have Delta 07, or simply known as Sev, voiced by Jonathan Cook. He has red on his armor to distinguish himself. I guess he's your weapons expert? It's actually not super clear, I don't think, but he is a psychopath.
Man, this place gives me the creeps.
A Scorch, nothing better than a jungle hunt. Hiding in the bush, putting a plasma bolt through a hostile's cranium, makes me feel alive.
Okay, now 07's giving me the creeps.
The game is littered with chatter between squad mates. You really do feel the chemistry between these characters. You feel like they are a squad that's been together for a while, was raised together, and know each other's personalities. Their back and forth is incredibly entertaining, and it really helps balance the game out because the game is quite a bit significantly darker than most Star Wars properties. Hence, you see blood spatter on your visor whenever you stab somebody, or you see levels littered with corpses of clone troopers. You see multiple clone troopers get absolutely annihilated right in front of you. So having a little bit of comic relief through banter really helps the game as a whole. Now, the presentation in this game is incredible. There are so many set pieces that still, even with these outdated graphics, hold up today, where I was sitting there watching the cutscene, getting chills because of just the scale and the scope of what's going on, paired with John Williams' original Star Wars scores from both the OG trilogy and the prequel trilogy swelling in the background. If there's one word to describe the feeling that you get while playing this game, it's just epic. So the gameplay in this game has been compared to other games such as Metroid Prime or Rainbow Six. It is a first-person squad-based shooter. Throughout the game, you visit multiple battlegrounds from the movies with your squad. You go through the OG battle on Geonosis from episode 2, and you also go through Kashyyyk to help out the Wookiees against their plight with the Trade Federation and the Trandoshan slavers, and you delve into an abandoned Republic assault ship that has been lost and rediscovered on the edge of the Corellian system. Each set piece is broken up into smaller levels, each one lasting somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes, with the overall location having between 5 to 6 levels. You do fight battle droids from the Trade Federation in every single campaign. However, each one brings a little bit slightly different enemy variants. On Geonosis, you do fight Geonosians. On the abandoned Republic assault ship, it's mostly against Trandoshans. And on Kashyyyk, it is also Trandoshans and battle droids. However, you have Wookiee allies who fight beside you throughout the campaign. Now, for all you veteran Star Wars fans out there, you might notice that the character models for enemies and for the Wookiees are slightly different. For example, Geonosian warriors and Wookiees are much larger than they are in normal Star Wars properties, which is hilarious because Wookiees are already pretty ginormous. The Trandoshans are mostly hunched over and appear more animalistic than normal Trandoshans do, other than the elites, I suppose, who are upright and have a massive Gatling gun. And then finally you have the Trade Federation battle droids, which are much less of a joke than they are in the movies. They feel grittier with a more metallic shell and almost like there's rust on their bodies. They also have big glowing eyes and just are a lot more intimidating than anything I've ever seen them in, especially when we're talking about these super battle droids. These things are an absolute nightmare, especially if you get swarmed by multiple of them. Now, there are multiple weapons throughout the game. You will always have your core set of weapons, that being a blaster pistol, the DC-17M blaster rifle, along with attachments for the rifle that can turn it into a sniper or an anti-armor grenade launcher. Then you have probably the most broken weapon in the game, which is your little wrist knife, which will one-shot most enemies and will do massive amounts of damage to bigger enemies, such as super battle droids. And then you have one final slot to make up for the rest of the weapons in the game, of which there are quite a few, such as the Geonosian beam weapon, the Trandoshan SMG, Wookiee bowcaster, you got a grenade launcher, you can take those giant Gatling guns from the Trandoshan elites, concussion rifles, or the almighty Wookiee rocket launcher. I do wish that you could swap out some weapons, like dropping your blaster pistol in favor of a Trandoshan SMG so that you can also carry a rocket launcher for the long term, but you can't, so you're stuck with one weapon from a drop. I do think that is the most disappointing feature in the game, but it's nowhere near egregious enough to ruin this incredible experience. Now, I did mention that this game is a squad shooter, which means you can actually order your squad to do certain tasks, and those tasks are littered throughout the game. There are multiple points on the battlefield where you can set up sniper nests, or you can order a teammate to take over a turret to give you covering fire, or send somebody to dismantle the trap in front of you. You can send somebody to hack computer systems for you while you cover them, or if you decide, hey, I want to do that myself, you can set up a perimeter with your squad mates so that they cover for you while you do the hacking, or you defuse the bomb, or you set the charge, or set a trap, or whatever it is that you're doing. Or you can have them revive you when you die, so the game is not truly over until every squad mate is dead. You can also have them focus fire when there is a priority target, like one of those super Trandoshans, or the Geonosian Elite, or a super battle droid. You can also, if you don't really want to do all that, just leave them to their own devices. The AI is actually pretty great. They will revive squad mates on their own when combat is over. A lot of times they will take up sniping nests on their own. They will usually attack the right target. They will actually follow you and not get trapped around corners. They won't usually just charge into their death either. It's super nice. For all of you veteran gamers out there, you understand that this could have very easily felt like an escort mission from any other RPG. But instead of it feeling like an escort mission, they actually do feel like they contribute. It's so nice to see AI that functions properly. Now, I think there is a little bit of a downside here. I did mention in the lore section that each character technically specializes in something. It doesn't really matter from a gameplay perspective. I think they probably decided that it was too hard to program that in and have it still be fun. It doesn't really ruin immersion or anything. It's just something worth noting. But I'm totally fine with sacrificing that little bit of lore in actual gameplay for the gameplay to function better. There is technically a multiplayer mode, but the servers are down, so you won't actually be able to find a game. It is still possible to do local multiplayer, but I didn't, so I don't have any footage for it, but it is in the game. Now, lastly, I did want to talk about the one piece of music that I can share, and that is the original song made for this game titled Vode On. It is one of, if not the greatest non-John Williams Star Wars songs in existence. The entire song is sung in Mandoa, the Mandalorian language, and it sounds like a war chant from a bunch of Mandalorian clan brothers chanting in unison. It's fucking awesome. It plays multiple times throughout the game during epic set pieces and epic battles, and just adds so much to the atmosphere. This is absolutely a song that I hope they bring back and put in the Mandalorian TV show. It would fit super well considering the TV show's about Mandalorian and the song is a Mandalorian war chant. Please, Disney, please don't fuck up for once. I would really appreciate it. Well, guys, that is Star Wars Republic Commando. Highly recommend you play it if you have not. It's not a terribly long game. It only took me about 7 hours to beat, and it absolutely took me back to a better time when Star Wars was still pretty good. Once again, guys, if you liked this video and you want to see more, please hit like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. This is Super Sheepin flying off into the sunset, and I will see you again with another one of these videos in about 2 weeks.